You could tell the difference on it.
Mm-hmm. You can, and you can tell the difference when we live because we live.
Cause we live.
Yo,
Live at 5, baby. Live at 5. Hey, shout out to Mona. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got some janky ass shipment people that be putting together y'all processing, man. I think that if y'all gonna sell products, listen, to all my striving entrepreneurs out there, if you gonna, you know what I'm saying, set out to put you some products on Amazon, make sure you selling what you say you selling. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
we don't want to open the box and expect a particular product, particular items, and something missing or
yeah.
it's the wrong thing. You know what I'm
Customer
saying?
service.
Like, hey, and to my people that's consumers, you feel me? My people that like to shop on Amazon, peep game. Before you press order, before you buy it, always go to the reviews. But listen, don't go to the 5-star, 4-star. Go to what the people that gave 1-star and 2-star reviews said. Go look at what they said and listen. If there's any consistency, if you see the same thing on there 2-3 times, don't order it.
The learning experiences of
Hey,
doing.
hey, that's right. That's consumer advice from George Lee. Y'all say what's up as y'all come in the building. What's
Cracking
cracking,
Malachi.
Malachi? It's been a minute, bro. I'm glad you was able to join us. The boy, join us. The boy Wayne Young in the building.
Brother Wayne.
Brother Wayne Young in the building. Thank you for joining us.
It's crazy.
We about to get in the church. Y'all know how it go. We about to get in the church. You feel me? It's interesting conversation for y'all tonight. So
Y'all
y'all
already
come
made
in.
Conversation for y'all tonight,
Y'all come in. Y'all come in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all say what's up. Again, we come in every Monday. Every Monday at this time. Well, earlier than this time, but we come in on the Mondays. You feel me? 7:30 Pacific, 9:30 Central Standard Time for the boy George Lee. But we in here. It's the chop up. Y'all make sure y'all following us on Spotify. Make sure y'all following us on Apple iTunes. Now, if y'all got iTunes, please go to the Chop Up Show on iTunes. Since we've adjusted the name a little bit, kind of changed our RSS feed with Apple, and our views aren't connected to our updated information. So what we need y'all, to do is go to Apple, rate us on Apple, follow us on iTunes, the Chop Up Show, rate us, follow us, y'all. Check out the episodes, like the episodes. You know what I'm saying? Get it cracking. Follow us on Spotify. Let's get the views up on or the listens up on Spotify. And it's broken up. So you don't even if you don't want to listen to the whole episode, you got the if you don't want to hear the political chop because you don't give a fuck about the political plug, I'm with that. We got the culture chop, we got the conscious chop. All of that's available, you know what I'm saying, for you to at your listening pleasure. So y'all make sure y'all go to Spotify, follow the Chop Up Show on Spotify, as well as going to YouTube and following the YouTube page at the Chop Up Show on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe. We're trying to get them subscribers up as well. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, I want to say, make sure y'all like the show, love the show real quick, show some love to it real quick, interact and engage with that like, that love button. And Noel asked a question that I do want to answer because I'm excited for it. We definitely always are open to y'all dropping some comments in the inboxes that we have, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, about topics y'all have for future conversations or discussions. I will put a disclaimer out there, 2 of them. One, we're going to talk about it if we got the range to talk about it. So, you could bring it to us and we'll think about it, chew on it or whatever, but I can't guarantee because we might not feel like we have the range to really have that type of conversation or discussion. And 2, we're going to throw it in there and toss it around. No guarantees on how big or how much of a segment or whatever, but we do want to make sure we engage and talk about what y'all want to talk about. So I just want to say that just so it's not like we guarantee to talk about everything. But if we have the range and the ability to really say something insightful about that we think is meaningful, we definitely gonna do that. So we are open to ideas. We got an email, the chopupemail@gmail.com. Y'all know we got inboxes on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. So whatever you need to do, hit us up with some topic ideas. We'll take them. We're open to them, and we'll put them out there and see if we can chop it up about it. No doubt.
So who's trying to bring it in today? Who's trying to get it?
I'm gonna bring it in.
Go ahead.
Well, y'all know what it is. It's another Monday night. It's quarantine Monday because the Rona's out there doing her thing. So we definitely are happy. Huh?
Still.
Still, absolutely.
Still,
Like Dre, like Dre and Snoop, still.
It came back like it's the COV.
Look,
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
you know what I'm saying? My name is
It's
COV.
But we out here, and it's good to be back with y'all. We definitely are excited to have some conversations today. I actually flipped up the Snapchat, so we're gonna talk a little Beyonce and No Name today. Get into it and talk a little bit about that for the Snapchat. Then we got some political chop for you, a whole bunch of different things. Whether it's the evictions coming up, the election, these presidents running their mouth. We got some stuff to say about that. And then George is gonna jump on. Lee, what's your topic?
Man, the culture chop. We're gonna talk about Ellen and allyship.
I've been knowing about it. So really, this is an example of, let me get this lock right here. Her chicken's coming home to roost. So we're going to talk a little bit about what white allyship looks like and how it'll get a lot of y'all in trouble because we're going to put some air quotes around allyship. So we can go ahead and get the show popping right now. Thank y'all for popping in. Go ahead and share the show. Like I said, like it, love it, interact with that, but definitely let us know you in here. And talk to us in the comments. And no doubt, Noel, we definitely on top of the job. Can't wait to hear from you. It's your girl, Toya G, in the building with some great individuals. I got a couple of them who can speak for themselves. So tell me who I'm with.
And you already know who it is. It's your boy, the Political Plug. And I got to stop saying that. I'm from the early 2000s, so y'all know what it is. It's your boy. It's literally how we was taught to introduce ourselves. So I'm gonna stop. Y'all hearing it right now. You feel me? I'm gonna be a little bit more creative. It's the Political Plug. We here to do the damn thing. I'm with my peoples. You know how they say I got my peoples with me. So we in.
Hey, y'all know me, man. It's the edutainer. When you get education and entertainment together, y'all know I used to love them DJ Khaled long ass introductions. You know what I'm saying? I used to love them types. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's your boy George Lee, aka Consciously. Don't forget the Lee. Make sure y'all follow me at GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com for all your merch and all your booking. And shout out to all the parents out there. You know what I'm saying? Rona.
Right.
Rona.
Shout out to the boy Zane.
Shout out to Zane. He's going to be joining us tonight. We're going to have him in the background, but we're going to push through, so y'all stick with us because we're about to have a real good conversation. Speaking of that, I want to start it off with a Snapchat talking about this wild Beyonce and No Name situation that has exploded and taken over the airways and really the tweet ways, if you will, over the weekend. No Name, who has definitely gotten herself into a lot of Afro-pessimist, anti-blackness, anti-capitalist literature here lately, has been doing a great job. As a matter of fact, we applauded her not very long ago for making sure J. Cole was being held in tone and perspective.
I don't know if applaud is the correct words.
I applaud it. And so,
there were people that applauded her, yeah.
They called a task. It was a couple records released or whatever, and they say what they had to say. And so now this time around, King has been really released by Beyonce, which is why the title of this little segment, this Snapchat is gonna be "Say My No Name." Y'all get the pun right there. Say my no name. There you go. But with that, Black is King is out, and No Name was like, well, wait. Beyonce here is definitely profiting, benefiting, dare I say, exploiting these images of blackness and black people from the continent. And that is wrong and problematic for a bunch of different reasons. So I want to talk to y'all, ask the comments, ask y'all, shout out to Jay Wiggins in the comments. Do y'all feel like, first of all, let's just get this out in the air. Is Beyonce above rebuke and above criticism? Or do you feel like she has been open to criticism and just been dodging them things? Do y'all feel like she held to a higher standard, or you feel like she just ain't got nothing to be criticized about?
So I'm gonna say
ain't nobody above being criticized.
That's the thing. Nobody's above criticism, but I will say this: there is a very thin line between constructive criticism and hating. It's a thin line.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so while nobody's above reproach, everybody should have the ability to be called into question. Everybody should really have the ability to say, I gotta, this is where you could be better, right? But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I do think like timing, you feel me, platform, wording, phrasing, positioning, all those things matter. You know what I'm saying? And kind of delineating the nuance between hating and constructive criticism.
Okay.
And I think with No Name specifically, she totes that line too much for me. like she's like, you know, I get her point.
You a little biased.
I am a little biased. I am. And we'll speak more to the bias after we get past this point and where that bias comes from once we get past this point. And so it's like, nah, I don't think Beyonce is above reproach, but I think when people choose to pick their spots, I think it's problematic because ultimately we need people showcasing this shit. And if the people who have the biggest voices and the biggest platforms are ignoring blackness and ignoring embracing blackness and showing blackness in its greatness, if they weren't doing that, we would be saying, why y'all not doing that? You know what I'm saying? So I think as much as we want to say, you know, there is a level of criticism that's deserved and that's there. Ultimately, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because if Beyonce wasn't showing that type of love to blackness, then niggas would be saying, Beyonce, why you not?
I mean, and especially you don't really want that type of diva-esque orientation.
And I'm not a part of the Beehive, people. I'm not a part of the Beehive or the Bayhive. The Bayhive.
We talked about this before the show started. To pronounce the Beehive is stop. Javier, and we're gonna get to the comments, but you said kinda, maybe, but no names off. No names point is off base. Agree, but not this. Elaborate on that a little more. That way, when we get to the comments, I can understand your logic. George, tell me what your response is.
Man, I think that Beyonce, and I think people that are in the platform or have platforms to really already be in mainstream, I think should always be criticized. So we should, so we can be kind of sharpening strategies, things like that, in terms of always trying to think about and ask critical questions about what it means to stand for particular things, and to us being debaters, like what is the political, social, economic impacts of those things. You know what I'm saying? What I will say though, especially after Damo just spoke though, I do think that Damo has a point though in terms of
you already know
when it comes to some celebrities, in terms of like damn if you do, damn if you don't. But I do think in this perspective that there have been people from the academic field that have tried to criticize Beyonce specifically for implications in capitalism. Shout out to the OG great Bell Hooks that I think tried to take Beyonce to task. And I think that I feel like when I was young and I was in graduate school, I was real young and I just perceived it as being like some straight up hating ass shit. But now that I'm a little bit older, and I think that I can kind of understand how capitalism, how you can commodify things and neoliberalism works, I think that it's something to think about, regardless of whether you think the criticism is off base or not. I feel like to talk about like fungibility of black shit, you know what I'm saying, modifying black shit, you know what I'm saying, being able to get a buck off black shit. 'Cause I think that if it is true that Beyonce has not been to Africa since 2009 and it's 2020, and now she had, you know what I'm saying, is doing some things and most of it wasn't even shot in Africa, I think that there is a criticism there. Do I think that I still can appreciate the art of Beyonce and appreciate it? I think that we still can do that, but I think that it cannot come devoid of a criticism.
Okay, I have a question in the middle that I'm about to ask, and then I have a question at the end that I'm gonna use to punctuate this conversation, and it's gonna be kind of a connection to what Lee just talked about. First, before we get to that, I want to get to the comments so that they're still relevant. Desiree says neither she or her team have figured out the formula to move around these situations, which is unfortunate but telling. And I think that's true, right? We can talk about criticisms all we want to, but we really have to talk about PR responses and how the shimmy shake has happened up to this point, right? We asked if Beyonce is above reprieve and above reproach because ain't nobody been able to stick her down on nothing yet. Like, we got you. We can say you did something wrong. And it's like, is she really that good or is her PR really that good? That's the question that's really kind of at stake.
Hey, it's a hand-in-hand relationship. She can make the job of her PR people easier.
She got Olivia Pope somewhere back there doing some type of cooking. Malachi says, Beyonce is loved so much that I doubt criticism of Beyonce will be taken too seriously unless she does something out of character, which is true, right? It's out there. It's been bubbling. It's kind of, a lot of people have made comments and been talking about it, really trying to get something stick. But for whatever reason, it's just not hard enough for people to just buy into the idea that Beyonce is problematic.
And to respond to that, it's like, because one, she does it well. Yeah, like even whenever she does these whenever she shows her respect, whenever she pays, you know what I'm saying, pays her dues, like when you look at the homecoming shit, you feel me, like that it like we didn't go to HBCU, so you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that feel, that vibe. I mean, I saw it on TV, right? But you could look at it and be like, yeah, like she's exuding a particular culture, and we got to give her respect for being able to show that and display that in a way that we could be proud of. If the best thing you can say is, well, she's appropriating aspects of African culture and Black appropriating, I don't know how far we go.
I never like using that word appropriating.
But ultimately, like that's what it is, right? Like because she's a Black woman.
I mean, and I done had so many arguments, George. You know what I'm saying? It put me on. You and she put me on to Shikis and put so many people on to wearing Shikis. And I had arguments with Africans from the continent about we appropriating their culture because we wearing Shikis and doing them and right. And then it's just like that becomes so exhausting. It's like I can't have fun. I can't.
Yeah, because George was a dashiki ass. Y'all was some dashiki.
Oh yeah, I see that conversation being as though if it be where every time Black African Americans niggas decide to do anything, I'm saying describing the African aesthetic or African culture, and it's always already some appropriation type shit. In my mind, does that coin flip and reciprocate when they rocking Jordans? Or they, I'm saying, jamming R&B music.
Yeah,
or they
man, like
doing the hottest new trendy dance that we created in America. It's like, nah, I don't work the same way.
We could probably say for another day and have some guests on, but the American Africans versus the continental Africans and their kind of beef and issues with each other is one that we could talk about forever, which is really at the heart of a lot of what this conversation is. I want to get back into the comments. I want to get back to the guy because this is supposed to be a snapshot. I'm trying to stay.
And this why you getting into the why you choose a comment just to sprinkle in like the specific nuance though. I think that this is not a criticism of perpetuating the African versus African American criticism. I think No Name's criticism was a simple, specific criticism about Beyonce's investment in capitalism and how, you know what I'm saying, she's able to take different images and kind of make them a thing to generate capital. I think that's a completely different conversation in terms of talking about, well, because she grew up on a continent, she can't be doing X, Y, and Z. To me, I don't think they're saying that. You feel me? Especially in the age when niggas were saying Wakanda forever and it's a made-up country in Africa. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's specific a criticism of capitalism, and niggas so lost in the sauce of capitalism, the criticism went over their head.
Got you.
Yeah, go ahead. Go get the rest of the comments. Yeah.
Shout out to our YouTube listeners, by the way. We definitely see y'all dropping in. Even Isaiah, I know my comment, my topic name is lit. Thank you very much for that shout out. Malachi says Beyonce is loved so much that sorry, I read that. Dominic used to be a huge Beyonce fan in college. We found that out in the comments.
Hey, shout out to Jay Wiggins, OKC's finest. Check this out though.
Wait. Instead of we don't need your narrative about why you used to love Beyonce. Xavier said.
Hey, Beyonce dope. I ain't got nothing to defend. Beyonce dope.
Say Faith said she agree with me.
We need Black art and Black voices to be heard. And the Black is King visual is great art. I too am not a part of the Beehive. Overall, no Name is off base with this one. Washa would be looking to knock her off or knock her down. A lot of people say Beyonce is an easy target because she is kind of seemingly up there, not bothering nobody, doing her thing and not overdoing it, not outspeaking, and spending her money. And so a lot of people have made that criticism. Let's see. Malachi says she is mostly beyond reproach due to her celebrity status, her skills, and her status as a feminist icon, which means any criticism need to be damning in order to cause any damage. And Master MP3 says Bliss the ambassador helped with the visuals, and he's from Africa. So what happens when you have contributions from people from the continent, from that culture? Right. So you're not commodifying it. You're not
like she putting them on.
Right, but I mean, it's always a deeper.
But this is the reason why I think it's a great criticism. Is because I feel like it teases out and exposes all of the details in terms of who getting paid, who came up with the ideas, who co-signed it, how they did it. To me, I think that the criticism makes it where we have to tease out all of the real facts in terms of who was the ambassador of visuals. Somebody else smashed.
Then what does that conversation always devolve into? Who made this? Who deputized this nigga to be the gatekeeper of what is good and bad African culture? Right? It's always another level that the debate can go where it's just like, okay, you got.
Hold on, let me.
Them niggas was certified. You know?
Yeah, let me throw this wrench in there though. We familiar with the phrase "nigga affect," right?
Absolutely.
It's value, right? Anybody, if you look up Ronald Judy on the question of nigga authenticity.
Affect and not value.
You know what I'm saying? On the question of nigga authenticity. That question of, and this may be a little, you know what I'm saying, high level, you know what I'm saying, for the conversation, even though we're gonna close it out so we can get to the chops.
I got one question to close it out and then we're done.
Okay, I just want to say this. Even through, so what we know about nigga affect though is that even with the commodification that we know is inevitable, like black people are commodification par excellence. That means anything we do is gonna be commodified. That argument about capitalism is non-unique, and it shouldn't supersede the value of the art that's being produced. No matter what we do is gonna be commodified.
Yeah,
like we are, like Judy said, commodification par excellence. So how is that affect related? And if we can create a positive relationship between black people in Africa through Beyonce using systems of capital to display these images of Africa, we do it.
The debater in me supposed to choose that frame.
I definitely can permutate.
You could.
Right line between like enough and too much and the right and the wrong kinds of African perspective, because a lot of people are saying Beyonce is showing kings and queens and affluent people, but where are the other images? And then other people are saying, but why would you want her to show a poverty-stricken African continent outside of showing the riches and the regalness and the affluence and the luxury that are also associated with blackness? So it's a conflicting relationship there. One of the things, and here's my last question, and I'm gonna dip because there's so many things I could think of to talk about this, which is crazy.
We're gonna find a way to turn this into a chop.
We have
somehow, yeah.
Well, it's basically been a chop, goddamn.
Some people have said, Beyonce ain't doing enough. Beyonce is just really, in terms of, y'all said yourself, she ain't been there since 2009 or something like that. It's 2020 now. A lot of things, it's just like it's a disconnect there between her and the continent. Other people have said, well, damn, she give money to niggas in the States. She's giving money here and money there for these efforts or whatever. Y'all want her to come in and be an African policymaker, be a politician, change stuff that the policymakers got to change. And that's an unfair burden for her. So my question is, if it is true at all, is it true that she's not doing enough? And if she's not doing enough, what else does she need to do to prove that she is worthy to be able to make these types of cultural ties and connections? Like, what has Beyonce done enough? Leave her alone? Or is it more that she needs to do to get the credibility necessary, even in a bigger picture, to be taking on blackness that she does? She takes on blackness. Is that her lane?
Beyonce should not be our fucking focus. Thank Beyonce for what she does, the images that she displays, the way in which she promotes black. It does not matter. Like, if we can create any positive relationship, if we got to attach Beyonce to Africa in order for niggas to have love for Africa, regardless of whether or not Beyonce been over there, fuck it. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, the systems that you complaining about, that Beyonce is just a cog in, is much bigger than her. And to focus on her is you literally just focusing on the tentacle of the Kraken. One tentacle. Like, it's a bigger body out there. It's more, you know what I'm saying? Niggas don't criticize their own city council as much as they criticize fucking celebrities. Niggas don't criticize their own school board as much as they criticize celebrities. I'm serious though.
Pay attention to celebrities every day. They don't pay attention to their school
niggas
board.
Niggas can't tell you the name of their district attorney. The nigga who's locking niggas up in their community.
They ain't getting on Instagram and Twitter, man, to figure out what they city council.
That's me. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna keep it there though. I'm gonna keep it there.
Here's my endpoint and where I'm gonna leave it. What you have implied is that niggas need to do what No Name has done, right? Which is pick up some books, pick up some reality, connect yourself to what's happening around you and really get in the mix. What I want to talk about next week, and I want to say this out loud so I don't forget it, is the young revolutionary and the range that they have to say the things that they say. Because a lot of people is like, No Name need to shut up. She just picked up books. She just started reading. She just started a book club versus Beyonce about this life. So I want to kind of talk about the authenticity testings of activism. And whether, because this happens on a bunch of different levels and in a bunch of different contexts. A lot of old heads are saying y'all niggas is excited, but y'all not certified. And so I kind of want to talk about young activists, young revolutionaries, and whether criticisms like the ones against No Name are valid. But that's it. That's my topic. Shout out to both No Name and Beyonce for doing anything in their own right. They still black women out here making noise and creating conversation. So I love it.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, it's something to be said about how No Name fans have been oddly quiet in terms of jumping out the window of coming out the Beehive. But you know, that's a conversation for another day.
I think if you was on Twitter, you'll see something different. The only thing is that Beehive is like 10 times matter of fact, 20 times bigger than No Name Camp. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no amount of great criticisms and analysis out there in the Twitter world that's gonna be able to, I feel like, compete with the volume of, you know, I'm just being real, and the magnitude
straight up.
of what the Beehive saying and doing. As a matter of fact, all I called myself doing was making a tweet to clarify what I think No Name's criticism was.
And they got in your ass.
They still in my Twitter mentions right as we speak.
Yeah, leave it alone. Hey, the Beehive is worse than motherfucking Black Twitter. The Beehive is probably bigger than Black Twitter. Matter of fact, Black Twitter would collapse if they turned on the Beehive.
On Black Twitter, they have their
intersectionality, Damo. They you know.
Right. Hey, but yo, so let's get into it. We gonna keep it pushing. Get into the political chop. Let's get it cracking. We got a few things to talk about today. We got a few interesting things that's happened in terms of politics. But one of the things that I want to talk about first, which is a pretty big deal to me, but I want to figure out where it is in terms of where y'all see coronavirus shit, right? And that is in terms of evictions, right? Like, so with a lot of people being laid off, a lot of people losing jobs, what you see around the country is we're trying to figure out the question of what's the relationship between landlords and tenants in a world where you can have an entire or half of an entire apartment complex lose their job, right? So you've had moratoriums around the country on evictions. In places like Maryland, you've had actual full out protests. People have came out and said, you know, we standing outside in front of the courts, we blocking the sheriff from kicking people out their house. And this is crucial, right? This is big because, you know, I mean, when you're dealing with a health crisis, the last thing you need is shelters being full of people, you know what I'm saying, who, you know, are trying to figure out what's next. So,
or large populations that already have just literally lapses in data, like missing information because they're displaced. So the data for them is often inconclusive because they out there just kind of making it how to get in how they live.
Right. So, and I mean, and it's all the way from, you got some states, you got some cities where the government is saying, nah, you can't evict people right now. You got Donald Trump making statements saying he'll sign an executive order to assist the tenant. You know what I'm saying? Which is a smart move by him because shit, if he was for people getting kicked out their house, he might as well pack his bags from the White House right the fuck now. But it's all the way to the extreme where you've had a case of a tenant beheading his landlord in a dispute over an eviction. So in a world where we're still dealing with COVID, we're still dealing with increasing cases. We've just seen like Houston, George, you was letting us know how in the last 3 days or so they've had more cases than they had in months. You know what I'm saying? So
in the month of May, they had more cases in the past 3 days than they had in the month of May.
And so in terms of this eviction crisis, where do y'all see its importance? In terms of something that we need to address from a federal political level, from the local level, where do y'all rank it in terms of things that need to be taken care of, like in the world where we're dealing with a pandemic, creating a bunch of different crises?
Listen, it's high as hell, and I'm gonna tell you why. Displacement is one of the biggest issues that will confront a lot of people in a lot of interesting ways, largely because it already has. And it's because displacement has shown itself just not in the ways we usually see it. When we see people who have already experienced coronavirus be in their own house, You know what I'm saying? They have to figure out how to separate themselves from everybody else, how to stay away from everybody else. And a lot of these people are not in your typical families. They already, huddled up in a house, making things work, sharing bathrooms, sharing stuff like that. And so people are already displaced, and that's only being exposed more by the fact that they can't just quarantine. Everybody can't just quarantine in their house. And so it's a lot of crazy stuff happening in terms of how people are already living. Now you take that and exacerbate it, make it worse by then putting people literally out of four walls, literally out of putting people out of the way of separating, areas and places where they can go and be by themselves. And now you got a whole bunch of people spreading stuff to each other because they nomadic, right? You got more people stuffing themselves inside of houses and households where you literally just can't be apart. And we seen that with essential workers, right? I can't separate myself. I'm in here. I go to work every day, and this is where I sleep, and this is where I live, and this is what I do, and it is what it is. Everybody got their space, and this is mine. And so displacement will only make things worse. And this is one thing, and I'll say this and leave it alone, that I was going to talk about in regards to displacement in a snapshot before I switched it up. And that is the fact that it's a hurricane happening right now in South Carolina, moving north, right? So it's supposed to hit into South Carolina tonight, move through North Carolina, and go all the way up to Maine. You don't think that's going to displace more people? So they're going to be in shelters and stuff like that. Maybe they was being evicted, maybe they wasn't, but they're going to be evicted one way or another. And it's going to create a situation where shelters are going to be jam-packed. People going to have to huddle together and share resources. And we do not have the protocols in line to do that. And the coronavirus is just something else. So how high is it?
Do not have the protocols to do it.
It's super high.
Yeah, what you talking about, George?
I'm gonna let you go first. The way Zayna in the background screaming.
Well, I mean, yeah. So from my perspective, I definitely think that is an entire creates an entire, tsunami of issues on its own. That displacement. Right, we literally like when we talk about displacement, we usually talking about third world countries during civil war where the civilians don't have nowhere to go. We are literally living in a country in a world where people shouldn't be crowded into anything. We're being forced to protest from being forced to crowd into homeless shelters. You know what I'm saying? So it's like even in a world where we talking about the economy and getting things back open, I know politicians were saying what they were saying, what they needed to say. In terms of opening the economy, but ultimately, when they were saying they was willing to sacrifice lives to combat this economic downturn, which was inevitable anyway, that's when we really got a bigger problem on our hands. And we're seeing these things play out where the fact that landlords feel comfortable evicting people during this time, right? There's no communal thought to think like, well, it's not appropriate right now. You know what I mean? And so ultimately,
but a lot of people are saying like this is my livelihood too. Like renting was a business that I went into to pay my bills, to pay my mortgage or whatever. And so in a lot of ways, it's the underbelly of capitalism because nobody's prepared to go on the hole for a year. The same savings y'all mad at us for not having to pay our rent is the same savings you don't have to pay your rent. Now look at you being a bully to me because you can. And so it's really a messed up situation all around because, and listen, landlord's bad. My argument, the way they do it, the way they move, terrible. But they are also victims of this vicious.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Tori got into exactly what I'm about to say. Because I'm about to say, I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely, you know what I'm saying, on the side of the tenants every day of the week. But I recognize it's like, hey, landlords got family fees and bills to pay too. Yeah. And I think that to me, I hate when we do this on the show, when we reference a previous segment. But I think it's the reason why the conversation about Beyonce's investment to capitalism is a serious conversation, because I think that this is more importantly a capitalism shortcoming that's being exposed, literally being exposed by the coronavirus pandemic. Because I think that it's literally I'm saying about, hey, at the end of the day, we all trying to have the end of the riches. Most of us trying to have the riches that Beyonce has. You know what I'm saying? And being able to have the riches that Beyonce has, one has to be able to be stringent and rigorous about the business that they able to conduct. You feel me? This means shit. Nobody got them, you know what I'm saying? Nobody making it. You can't let nobody make it that damn near. You feel me? So it's really like, me, it's like one of the contradictions of capitalism. You feel me? On one end, we care about profit. On the other end, we trying to care about people. And sometimes we see how this thing with the tenants,
you can't care about them both. You can't care about them both. Ultimately, it's like shit. If we all taking L's, we all taking L's, and it's like it's kind of like that class trader shit. That's why I say race plays such a huge role in mystifying class, because it's certain shit that we grasp onto to make us enemies of the people that's in the same situation as us.
Yeah.
And because we want to be more because we want to have more value, because we want to have profit, because we want to be able to, because we want to be like the people that have the money. We're more sympathetic to them than the people that's actually in the same situation as us. And that's what we see playing out with this eviction shit.
Hey,
before
you
go
switch
ahead.
the comments, Master MP3, shout out to the puppy and the Georgia's little ones. The children are here, they're live and you live in color. So shout out to the kids. He says the Federal Reserve is printing money at record levels and we can't get it to the people who need it. And that's absolutely the fact. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I don't know if there was any for the CARES Act or for any HELP Act or whatever, HERO Act or whatever this stuff is, if there's anything directly that goes to landlords. I don't know if that was a small business loan or a part of what they could apply for. Probably so. But
it had to be. It had to be. Yeah.
Yeah, for them to get some type of relief. But it's a lot of just resources being withheld from people out of selfishness and stinginess that's messed up. Xavier says it should be a top-down approach from the government, pay the banks, have them pass the funds to the landlords, and have them not kick out the renters. But that's too much.
It could all be so simple.
It's too much like right, you know what I'm saying?
But they gotta make it hard.
That's too much like right. You can't just go to school, act right, do your homework, come home, go to bed, do it again the next day. That's too much like right.
Too much like right.
When we look at our politicians and coming up with logical, functional ways to deal with this issue, like Canada, for example, paying people $2,000 a month, sending them on their way, making sure that Gucci is solid, and we just kind of go from there. But that's too much like right. Nick Brady, I'll say this. There is a difference between individual landlords and corporate landlords. The majority of landlords are corporate, so not those who are paying off a mortgage. We are talking about folks who own a portfolio of properties. The individual landlords should be fighting alongside tenants and demand both a moratorium on rent and a moratorium on mortgages. Damo.
Nah, that's facts. I mean, because ultimately you are talking about two hugely different groups. Like you got people who own, who've invested in just owning a couple properties that they keep up themselves. We're talking about people being evicted from large corporate-owned apartment complexes that are, that own that have thousands of tenants, in one city. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 or 3 different apartment complexes managed by this one, entity, and they trying to kick half they fucking apartment complex out. It's something that we need to be cognizant of. This is something else where if it's allowed to go under the rug, it creates crises that we don't find out about too late. I mean, anybody that study history, we need to stop. You said what?
And it sets a precedent. You know what I'm saying? Because all of a sudden what we did before and how it works is just how it's done. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be more creative the first time around.
That's it. But we're gonna keep it going. We got a few things we're gonna discuss in today's political chop. So make sure, hey, y'all stay on the lookout for that. And anything that y'all can do, if it's any rent funds that you can donate to, you know what I'm saying? If it's any any organizations or groups that's fighting specifically people getting evicted from their homes, pay attention to that. That's a large part of not just when niggas is protesting, burning shit down, but when niggas just need help. We should also support and do what we need to do for them. Our next topic on the political chop tonight is Joe Biden's VP short list of sisters. It's a short list of sisters. Specifically, you see, I had to throw that A in there so y'all know who we talking about. When you say sister, you're talking about somebody specifically. Now, Joe Biden made the commitment that he's going to have a black woman or a woman VP specifically, but he's definitely always been leaning towards a black woman as his VP. Now, the 3 names that we are most familiar with, we're going to start with one of the biggest names, one of the more known names, and that's Kamala Harris, the junior senator out of California, elected since 2017, a member of the Democratic Party. She's the second African-American woman and the first South Asian American woman to serve in the United States Senate. Now we know Kamala Harris's reputation as an attorney general. We know the accusations that's being levied towards her in terms of her being the police. But that's one of the top names on there. Now, and we also know that it's people in Joe Biden's camp that was like, nah, we really don't want to fuck with her. But that's one of the first names. Now I'm gonna get y'all. I want y'all's thoughts on these 3 ladies once we kind of lay out the tail of the tape. The next candidate who kind of got the biggest boost more recently, but also ran into some issues as of today, is Karen Bass. She is a U.S. representative out of California's 37th district.
Karen Bass.
Since
That's the name.
since 2013. She was a representative for the 33rd district from 2011 to 2013. And her name recently popped up, as well as some controversy with some comments that she made about being amenable and being more friendly with Fidel Castro, which bothered some Florida Democrats. But that's really the biggest controversies that came up in terms of what would have her in the way. And last but definitely not least is a rising star in the Democratic Party, and that's Stacey Abrams. She served in the Georgia House of Representatives from 2007 to 2017 as its minority leader from 2011 to 2017. She recently, in 2018, ran for governor of Georgia. Mm-hmm. The governor of Georgia, where she lost to Brian Kemp, who's actually the Secretary of State, who was over the elections at the time and was accused of many different practices that limited the accessibility for Black people in lower income neighborhoods to have access to voting. Those are the main three names on the short list. Now we can't definitely, this is the chop up. We're not connected to Washington Post and none of that shit. So we just going based off of what's been put out there. But with these three names, these three Black women, which one do y'all think has the best chance to make Joe Biden more palpable for Black people to be like, all right, we can fuck with you? Stacey Abrams, Karen Bass, or Kamala? Who can give Joe Biden the juice?
I think when it's all said and done, Kamala Harris is going to be the one to do it. And I'll tell you why. A lot of the people's concerns, first of all, just familiarity and perception of experience, right? Outside of her being in the primaries, she just kind of she's been in a lot of footage, handling people and taking people to task in these various hearings. Like, it's just kind of a little bit more recognition, and I think people going to be willing to give credibility to Stacey Abrams through. I think she's going to have to get that governor position, going to have to be a little bit more tenacious about some of the positions that she holds in order to really kind of sustain people's attention. So I think she might be a really good competitor to whoever runs in 2024, and she'll have some more time to get some juice and get kind of up. But I think Kamala's going to be good. Now, here's why it's conflictual. From what I understand, I was told not an NPR, but a lot of Twitter, is that a lot of people are on the outs with Kamala because they think she's going to have her own secondary agenda, right? Like, they think that she's going to be too distracted trying to go for the 2024 seat, that she's not going to be focused on really being supportive of Joe Biden. So it's going to create kind of a culture clash and a clash or a divergence of interest because she got an agenda too. And so I think while that could be a concern and whatever that means, because I think that's coded for this Black lady gonna come in here and start some bullshit that we ain't trying to do.
She's trying to do her own shit.
I really think more realistically, she probably learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? We haven't heard a lot from Kamala Harris outside of just kind of, you know what I'm saying? So I think she probably learned a lot. She reflected, she's sitting, she's talking to people, she's being primed, she's being prepared to really fill the void. I hope she's being coached on how to answer the policing questions, because that's why niggas was like, we don't buy it. You still kind of have fidelity to a lot of the wild shit that you did to niggas. And I asked Dominique, like, would it be a world where if Kamala came out and said, you know what, I'm sorry, I was wrong, forgive me, I'm ready to really make a better relationship out of myself and a better legacy for myself between myself and the police, she might maybe got some space. But I think the other candidates, even I'm not familiar with the other candidates. Karen Bass. Yeah. I need to know more about her, but that's why I'm saying, like, the Democrats in Florida were never gonna win. Like, it's Florida. Republicans over Florida were gonna rise and be. So I hate to be that pessimistic about it, but who cares if they mad? They don't want to support her.
But ain't Florida a swing state? I thought Florida was a swing state.
I mean, it's a swing state, and that's but okay.
I mean, let me dismiss it then. Like,
yeah. I mean, but ultimately,
I think Stacey Abrams will help Joe Biden more in terms of the African American vote, as they would call it. But I think that more quick. I feel like that ain't the question. I feel like at this point, Joe Biden probably feel like, man, I got niggas. You feel me? If you ain't Black, you ain't voting for me. If you ain't Black, you feel me?
Well, I mean, but not from his standpoint. More so from the standpoint of like, who.
I think from his standpoint, I agree with Toya. From his standpoint, I think that he has to go with Kamala Harris to be able to appeal to the more kind of moderate Democrats that still like they social, you know what I'm saying? They still like they law and order. You feel me? And how Kamala Harris is able to appeal to that more progressive law and order. I think it's an oxymoron, but progressive law and order that Kamala Harris is able to put forth. I think that it kind of, you know.
I'm gonna tell y'all whatever it is, and shout out to Jaleesa in the comments, definitely dropping some knowledge. She thinking she wants it to be Stacey Abrams, but it's thinking it's probably gonna be Kamala, kind of like here's what, because those moderate Democratic voters who's kind of on the fences about law and order was always gonna already vote for Joe Biden, because there was already moderate Democrats who already had the come fast out of here, right? So here's what Kamala's gonna have to do, or whoever he picks is gonna have to do. They're gonna have to break the tie between this begrudging vote that we putting in, right? We are voting begrudgingly, the lesser of two evils. Don't nobody really want to vote for Joe Biden's ass too. So whoever is the vice presidential candidate has to give us something excited to vote for.
It has to break. It has to allow for it to break either way. Yeah.
It got to break the deadlock. It got to give some type of hope. It got to give some type of fire. It has to get us excited. And you got a little bit of time to do it. And very hurt, very broken people. So I don't know what the hell it could be. But you got to give me some shimmer. You got to give me some shimmy shake. You got to give me something, because we got to break that tie. Shout out to Deja in the comments, just pulled up. Hello to you. Hey to you. What's cracking?
Yeah, my little sister D-Lee. That's D-Lee.
Hey. Shout out, straight up. And so and I say this, who and we can get to the last chop, or not the last chop, but the last part of the political chop. I would have to say I think Stacey Abrams does that. I think Kamala Harris also, though. The only thing that gets in the way with Kamala Harris is that even though we have that perception of her being the police, her being a cop, and that type of shit, she also has a lot of Asian people that are willing to be like, we're behind her too, because, you know what I'm saying, she because of that Indian descent. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's an opportunity for, you know, two communities to come together and be a part of a similar voting bloc. And so while I think Kamala is more, or Stacey Abrams will be more beneficial for Black people, Kamala, from a campaign standpoint, has a broader reach. Two different communities. And we know when it comes to Democrats winning elections, like Obama did with his Obama coalition, you need multiple groups of people coming together saying we're gonna support this one candidate in order for them to overcome.
I mean, but I don't think she tries to rep for her Indian side nearly as hard as she tries to. You know what I'm saying? So
your man, come on! I used to smoke some weed, listening to the Snoop Dogg album.
True. I mean, but it's definitely something
progressive cop.
And it's definitely something that's gonna come up though. It's definitely something that she would embrace, especially in a presidential election. True. But let's get to this last part.
Real quick, Kamala Harris because she light skinned and the liberals will see the Obama in her. And I don't necessarily think you're wrong. I think
that's the reason why I bust out laughing, because it was like I read it. It's like, man, I wanna
faith
simplicity, but like
with that. That's she that's knowledge. That's political plug approved right there.
I was like,
that get the stamp
right there, man. Shout out to the wife.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to
Kamala Harris, because
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Liberals see the
Obama in her faith. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Liberals love some good old colorism. You know what I'm saying? We know that conservatives love niggas that pander to them and they anti-Black apologists and white supremacist sympathizers. But we know that liberals love light skins.
All right, so the last part of this is we gonna call this last portion President saying silly shit. Now we're gonna rank. I want y'all to rank 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give y'all 3 statements from presidents over the last over the last week and a half or so. You feel me? I got 3 statements from 3 presidents. Current president Donald J. Trump, former president William Clinton, and former president Barack Hussein Obama. 3 statements. We're gonna rank them in terms of their silliness. Yeah. All right, first statement. President Donald Trump, in a tweet, stated that due to COVID concerns as well as concerns with mail voting. Yeah. Voting by mail. I said mail voting. Voting.
Or the men vote.
Right.
And women vote.
voting through, you know what I'm saying, mail-in ballots, all of that. Donald Trump said because it's some corruption associated with mail-in ballots, we should delay the election or look into delaying the election, putting off a presidential election, you know what I'm saying, because of fraud associated with mail-in ballots. Even though anybody who does the simplest Google search in mail-in ballots will see it doesn't happen. Less than 1%. So we got that. We have a current sitting president suggesting to delay an election for fraud that he claims is happening, but
that's not
middle
really
school research will tell you it's not really happening.
Right.
The second statement was made by Bill Clinton at the service for the late great John Lewis.
Billy Clinton.
Yeah. Yo, look. No, because George, he been waiting on this one. This like George been wanting me to get into the smoke because he like, nigga, yo, hero. He came at your hero.
What you
I guarantee you, somebody say some shit about Huey P. Newton and I'm coming.
Yeah, he
it don't matter who you is. I'm gonna address that. You feel me?
Hey, straight up.
I'm addressing that shit. You feel
but
me?
to be clear, so Bill Clinton at the service for John Lewis said, talking about John Lewis replacing Stokely Carmichael as the leader of SNCC and being in charge of SNCC, he phrased it as if there was a competition between the two, and that Stokely Carmichael had a certain mindset and mentality and how the movement should look, and John Lewis had a mentality of how the movement should look. And he said he framed it as Stokely almost won, and Stokely almost had control of the movement, but John Lewis was able to prevail, as if John Lewis toppled Stokely Carmichael,
like
they were in opposition or some shit.
Yeah.
The last statement is made by President Barack Hussein Obama on a podcast with him and his wife, and they're talking about voting, and they're suggesting that young people don't vote because they're self-absorbed, that young people are extremely focused on themselves, and they quote, know more about the cereal they're eating and the car they're driving than how government works. So they completely, they completely disparaged younger voters in an elitist way to say, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. All right. And that's why y'all don't vote, because y'all stupid. And y'all not stupid. Y'all just goofy as hell. Y'all worried about y'all cereal and shit. And y'all don't know how government works. That was a statement made by the Obamas. So we got three silly ass comments, three silly ass statements by presidents. How would y'all rank those from, you know what I'm saying? One, it was like, okay, I see what you're saying, to the silliest. You know what I'm saying? Toya, go ahead and rank them.
Master MP3 said Clint need to worry about not getting convicted diddling kids, and I agree with that.
Hey, they ain't going nowhere. Y'all thought y'all can be in cahoots. You feel me? It probably was the only thing the Clintons and the Trumps agreed on in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
So he knocked off, man.
Go ahead, Toya.
Hell, this is the order. I'ma say they silly as hell, but this is like the disrespect. I think the kind of number 3 for me on the disrespect-o-meter, the silly meter, that's just like, you shut up, is Donald Trump, right? Because he voted absentee and does so from Florida because he lives in D.C. and lived in New York. So he was signing absentee ballots and stuff like that, and that's how he was voting from Florida for a long time. Number 2, the military and a whole bunch of other people who make those types of decisions end up voting absentee, which is not really very different from vote by mail. And it's highly successful, no problems, no fraud. So it's just like, stop. You know what I'm saying? And from what I understood, I think he's still consistent with this idea, but there are people who are forcing him to kind of change his framing and his talking and how he's talking about it. So hopefully he's back.
Fake news.
Absolutely. Number 2, I think on this list is Barack Obama, just because you sound dumb as hell, nigga.
Wow, you putting OBZ before
is how you had 2 terms, bro. The youth vote is the reason why people got behind people like Bernie Sanders and were able to really galvanize some potentially meaningful candidates in a world where Joe Biden only won because of the establishment and not because of the young people not showing up. You know what I'm saying? And young people are also hip to how corrupt the system is. You want to say people don't know about the system? You know what young people ain't forgot about? And I talk about this element of elections every single time because it always falls to the backdrop. The electoral college is a sham. It's a piece of shit. It knocks down people's political hope and pride every single time. The president is supposed to be Hillary Clinton. The youth voted for Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton did not win. People do not have faith in a system that they ain't like. They done seen, you talking about the youth not voting. By the time they get to high school, they done voted for student council presidents, and the most popular person won. They done voted for homecoming kings and prom kings and queens, and the most. They done, so you vote, count them, you win. Anything outside of that is unacceptable to this generation. So don't try to play us. Number one, most silliest, but also I'll say the rudest and most problematic statement out of all of this is, to be honest, from Bill Clinton. Here's the reason why. What he said is textbook white supremacy. Because two political against each other, right? And tarnish the legacies and the relationships and the coalitions they were able to build, which is hella problematic and is a way that you mishistoricize, dehistoricize, and really fuck up the legacy of two people who was down with each other. I'm gonna show y'all. This is one of my favorite clips, and it came out.
Stokely, Kwame, Ture, my friend, my brother, my colleague, Mr. Chairman, I salute you tonight because of your courage, your raw courage, and your great strength.
What is the point of making statements like that when these two men in their older years and in their elder years are saluting each other, showing each other love, hailing each other, giving each other pride, and just care? Black men loving on each other in public, but forget those moments like that. You want to sit up here and evoke, and it's these slippages. Because I know he didn't get up there like, I'm gonna be a white supremacist today, but that's what he did. So he trashed.
Go ahead, George. That was definitive. And so hold on. So one on the most egregious, the silliest, Bill Clinton, Obama second, and Trump get a pass by being the least.
You don't get that. They all foolish. It's
all foolish. But ultimately, when you rank them three, this is probably the only time you'll hear any like Trump below.
Yeah, Trump 3 for me too, man. Trump is 3 for me.
Listen, man. Okay. Trump is 3 for you too. Okay.
When a person has showed me they can be consistently irrational, you know what I'm saying? And I hate to even use irrational, you know what I'm saying? Rational, like I hate to weaponize the notion of rational like this, you feel me? But Trump has showed me that shit, he's consistently irrational. So him saying this shit is like, okay, Trump, I'm sure tomorrow you say something else crazy, whatever, you feel me? You know
this ain't even bad compared to the shit.
This ain't even bad, you feel me? To me, it's like Trump being like, damn, can I get like 2 more minutes, 5 more minutes? Damn, I know I done mixed up the economy thing, and y'all picked me for being, you know what I'm saying, an economic expert, and I'm not showing my economic expertise right now.
Right, no expertise.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm messing the money up. I know the economy. 9 months ago, I was talking about how great it is, and now it's going. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna let that go. You feel me? For me, number 2, and you know what? Toya almost convinced me to go the other way. But for me, number 2 is, you know what I'm saying? To me, number 2 is Billy Clinton. You feel me? Because to me, it's like, hey, man. To me, it's like, hey, you feel me? I know it's a chop up podcast, so I ain't gonna say nothing too provocative. I ain't gonna say nothing too sensational. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep it simple. You feel me? Bill Clinton has already showed me that he has a smooth, cool ass way of mobilizing white supremacy. He now already showed me that, his track record. You feel me? He now already showed me that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm put him in number 2 because it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Bill Clinton. It's not. Hey, listen. To all the non-black people that's listening, you feel me, to this podcast right now. If you have the honor and privilege to speak at a black person's funeral, don't you ever evoke any type of conflicts, any type of, you know what I'm saying, disgruntlement, any type of
don't make no damn sense.
Listen, you feel me?
It don't make no damn sense.
Open up white supremacy. Y'all know, you know what I'm saying, for that movie Django, is that a nigga on a horse? You feel me? They had something there called, you know, a Mandingo fighting. You feel me? And it's modern ways that Mandingo fighting can manifest itself. And I think that what Bill Clinton did was showing you how niggas, even in death, can be pit against each other, and it might not never been no beef in the first place. You feel me? That's something there. You know what I'm saying? But to me, number one, it gotta be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gotta be Barack Obama. It's like, hey, listen, Barack Obama, you somebody as a liberal, you one of them liberals that like to prize yourself on logic. And I just think that it's just illogical because listen, it's 3 elections in a row: 2008, 2012, 2016. The young folks, almost, you know what? I ain't gonna repeat too much what y'all said. Barack Obama, how dare you bite the hand that voted you in?
That elected your ass. Yeah, you bit the hand that cast the ballot.
That voted you in, man. Stop playing them games, man.
I everybody else in the chat. I want y'all rankings. Because I'm gonna say mine real quick. We're gonna get the chat rankings, and then we're gonna get to the conscious chop. Mine is actually, I think is reverse from y'all's. Third, I put Barack Obama. Niggas don't know how government works. They know government corrupt. They know niggas is crooked. They know politicians ain't shit. But niggas do not know shit. Niggas don't know how. I agree wholeheartedly with Barack Obama. Oh. Does he need to be saying that shit? No, bro. You don't need, like, that's not how it moves. Like, you gotta be like, hey, youngins, I fuck with y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He said Barack Obama always talking down to people.
And this is why I call Damo the Joe Budden of the chopper. The old ass, uncle ass criticism perspective every time.
I mean, he's Obama's not like, because Obama's salty because this is the thing, and it's funny that even like the person that called this out the tweet put it out was a Bernie Sanders supporter. The reason why what Barack Obama is talking about is why Bernie Sanders didn't win the election. It's like, okay, yeah, you hate corruption. That don't mean, you know what I'm saying? But that also means that if you don't turn out, then you're going to miss every shot you don't take. Like, the man that represented your values the most did not get the overwhelming support that he needed in order to beat Joe Biden. That's why we're dealing with Joe Biden. So the reason why I put Obama third is because he has a point, specifically if you look in the context of 2018. It is what it is. Sure. I put Bill Clinton second. For the same reason why Toya put him first and why George put him second. It's like, I agree, Toya. It's like that's what white racism looks like. That's what white supremacy looks like. But also with George is Bill Clinton old senile ass. Do you see that? He don't even look like he need to be up there speaking. My nigga need to see
at the fume. Like, I think that's where it's just like, damn, can we?
Right. I mean, and it's like, I mean, I understand, and it wasn't, and this is why I'm kind of on the fence. It's like a toss up with Bill Clinton. But the only thing is, it's like Bill Clinton isn't in power, so his statement is just like the ranting of an old white man, sure. Like an old white liberal. You know what I'm saying? He can't control. He ain't control shit. He's just a white man that says some silly shit, and we supposed to expect that from white liberals. But number one, like, this sitting president is talking about the lane. That's like literally fascism 101. You know what I'm saying? That's literally like, nah, you know what? This election shit, we're not gonna do it like we normally gonna do it. Because
it's America. And nothing wrong with a little fascism.
Man, stop. Actually, nigga, it's America. It's a lot wrong with a little fascism. That's supposed to be, you know what I mean? Like, fascism is actually antithetical to America, to the foundation of it. It's freedom.
A lot of, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people saying y'all too calm right now. Y'all too calm. Y'all too chill.
Man, yeah.
These are the signs of fascism 101, basics, fundamentals, and y'all not really picking up what's being put down. And
so Trump been showing it though.
But see, that's the problem though. Just because we don't need to be numb to it. We should not be numb to fascism, because
I'm desensitized, man. There's people
but you can't
make it great again, man.
That's like saying are you desensitized to heteronormativity, nigga?
No.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe unconsciously in some ways.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that, man, when it comes to like social norms, bro, I think that it's just really a smooth ass, cool ass way that a lot of America has been persuaded by the Pope pimping of Donald Trump.
That's a problem. We've been bro,
Just
and that's
like-
what I'm saying. And then I'll say this, and then we'll get the Faiths. She the only one who followed the instructions and gave niggas a list. Thank y'all.
I gave a list.
No, I'm talking about the chat.
Shout
Yeah,
out
you
to
gave
my
your
wife.
list. But that's the problem, right? Like we sit back and niggas be like, damn, how did this happen in history? How did they live in a world where they was letting people do that? Because niggas was okay with it. Niggas was looking at it like, damn, that's what they do. You feel me? And so like we can't be that. We can't move like that. You know what I'm saying? We got Faith. She said Obama number 1, Clinton 2, 3, Trump. Obama the silliest because the young people are the reason you were voted in. That's true. I mean, and really, you know, all of these, regardless of how you do it, it's debatable because this was just silly shit said by niggas who was at one point are currently leaders of the free world. You know what I'm saying?
All we missing is a nice little old George Bush quote, and we can rank the last 4 American presidents on the silliest shit they done said. To me, this is 2020 illustrated.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. The niggas that set the highest standard is looking the silliest. And then the last comment we're gonna get to is Benjamin Saunders. He said, "Yeah, I gotta put Trump in the number 1 slot, whether he's straight talk or not." He said, then Clinton, then Obama. Can't give Billy a pass just because we expect it. That's above on Trump, and at least Obama has some faith. Right? Yeah. So me and Benjamin had the same list.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna keep the conversation going. Of course, when y'all see these clips, when y'all see, you know, the promotion of everything going out, we gonna again comment. Let's keep it happening. I mean, we can't just be set and letting fascists like be okay. Like niggas, yeah, not at all. But George is rounding up.
I want to shout out Barack Obama's page just so that you can see when you can do your mail-in voting. If you really felt some type of way about Trump, he got the deadlines. I mentioned this last week, but if you go to his Instagram, he has the deadlines that you can request your mail-in ballot. George Lee.
So yeah, that's the political chop. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna go ahead and close this out with the conscious chop. Go ahead, George.
Man, so bringing in the conscious chop. Most recently, the Ellen DeGeneres is, you know, swirling in I feel like all over timelines, especially if they hella liberal like mine. You know what I'm saying? I went to school with a whole bunch of liberals, you feel me? But shout out to everybody that's living unapologetic and black and things. You know what I'm saying? I ain't black. I mean, I ain't a Democrat, I'm black. But listen, Ellen DeGeneres show is under internal investigation by the Warner Media following a series of allegations of racism and workplace bullying and workplace intimidation, as well as other mistreatment by employments of the popular daytime talk show.
Huh?
Yeah. A person familiar with the situation has confirmed with NPR on Tuesday that the Warner Brothers has begun an investigation into complaints on a toxic workplace behavior behind the scenes at the show. It's been apparently like 11 unnamed people that's first current and former employees. With this kind of subtitle, this conscious shot being Ellen and allyship. My first question to y'all is, does these current allegations influence how you see Ellen DeGeneres in terms of being an ally for race and racism, Black Lives Matter? And also to throw on to this before y'all respond, it's been swirled around allegedly that Ellen DeGeneres is thinking about ending the show.
Definitely heard those same rumors.
Go ahead, get it in for you.
I think I am about because I live in the area or whatever, I kind of have a beat on LA Twitter a little bit, and so I follow a lot of stuff and see a lot of stuff, and so it's not even news to me that a lot of people are turning on Ellen because a lot of people be tweeting like she is terrible. Like, I've worked for Ellen, I work at the studio, I do this, I do that, I'm assistant, I do whatever, and she is whatever. And I've read whole threads about horrendous behavior, don't talk to me, don't look at me, just really like very pompous behavior that she's had over time in the studio. So I'm not really overly surprised. And what you will do to white people, you will doubly do to niggas, okay? You will triply do to women and other people who don't do their women thing or their queer thing like you do. She's very entitled, from what I understand, and has a sense of, you know, I paid a price, I made and claimed my way, so everybody else is just kind of beneath me. And I think it's whack. You know what I'm saying? Because we honestly, how did she get bumped up to allyship? Number one, you know, I think a lot of Black people gave her credit and credibility. You know what I'm saying? Because she been out here for a minute, had her show, whatever. She's been relevant in pop culture since I've been a kid. But until Barack Obama got on there with his dad jeans, doing his little dad jean dance, niggas wasn't even on her radar. So how she got dubbed the ally is still real skeptical to me, real unclear to me, because I can't think of nothing.
I think she didn't put some Black people on in terms of it was a nigga from Kansas City,
Waylon Allen. You know what I'm saying? I gave a position and gave an opportunity. I need to go read some of his tweets and see what he got to say here lately. It's always interesting to see niggas who get put on, and I feel for them because they end up having to answer for people. Like when B Simone got in her mess, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people. My homeboy, no, Dominique. You know Zach that debated. Zach Hinton is works with B Simone, her assistant, her right hand man, her whatever. But every video B Simone posts, the nigga that went to high school with Dominique and that debated with us in BKC be right there.
Shout out to that. Yeah, he was on the debate team coming up. He went to Kappa from UMKC. Shout out to Zach doing his thing.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like weird because you see these people who have to deal with some of that. It was Desi that had to deal with that because he was in his own bullshit on the internet when B Simone went up in smoke. But definitely. You know, it's just it's kind of crazy to watch and see. And so Ellen, I'm not surprised just because the conversations I've been watching, but I'm trying to figure out who dubbed her ally in the first place and how she earned it.
Hey, but I done seen over the years, I've seen a lot of Black people who go to bat with for Ellen DeGeneres in terms of other Black people trying to criticize her or trying to have a criticism for her in terms of being like, hey, she's still complicit or she still might do this or do that. And they said, nah, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe it's not as many as I thought. But I mean,
it's more than you think, though. Because to answer to your question, you may ask yourself, why? But I think what Ellen has been able to successfully do is orient herself to Black celebrities in a way that gave her that sense of allyship.
That, and even when she's not, she gets away with being this harmless, if not funny and adorable white woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she is
gay white woman. Remember, she was gay. She was gay before it was cool.
Type shit. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I remember she came out in the 90s when it was like, damn. Like I remember even thinking, because we kids, she gay.
Man. I learned is that Ellen DeGeneres, I believe, and Angela Davis came out lesbian the same year. And just that based off of how, you know, the media is, everybody ran with the Ellen DeGeneres. In 2020, it came full stream. A lot of people still don't even know that Angela Davis, you know what I'm saying, is lesbian. You know, and came out.
I never knew it. Never heard it.
Came out lesbian as the same year in 97 when what you call did.
Yeah, I mean, so but a part of that problem, George, is that this is the thing that, and you know, I always speak against it. It's that celebrity culture. It's like we deify celebrity personalities and then we create who they are in our head. Kind of like, you know how we
like Beyonce.
Beyonce talented. What the fuck you talking about? We're not gonna do. Listen, y'all not gonna make it sound like I'm in the motherfucking beehive. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, you in the beehive,
but shit, fucking Ellen can't drop it like it's hot like Beyonce now. You better stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we still. Hey,
Papa said, drop it like it's hot. I just want to.
Yeah, but ultimately, though,
the Over 30 podcast. I'm gonna shout out, give Damo a podcast. He got his own.
Yes, shout out to the Over 30 podcast. Man. We get it cracking. Hey, that's where if you want to hear me talk about bullshit, celebrity shit, I'll talk about that shit on the Over 30 podcast. Shout out to my cuz comedian Tez Carter, my co-host. But yeah, what you about to say, George?
I think the way that all three of us have kind of characterized Ellen DeGeneres kind of brings me to this final second segment question to this culture chop in terms of Ellen and allyship, you know. So we know that white people assume niceness is the answer to racial inequality almost all the time. You feel me? It's like they feel like if they can smile and cheek their way into, you know, or out of a racial kind of tension situation that they show that improves that they are you know what I'm saying, a good person. You feel me?
Yeah.
Certified, you know. Thus, it becomes essential for white people to quickly and eagerly telegraph that niceness to people of color. Niceness in this instance is conveyed through a tone of voice. You know, it's light, it's the eye contact accompanied by smiling and conjuring up infinity ways of sharing sharing enjoyment of music genre, or you know, how you something eat, or your hairstyle, or a statement you said. You know, what is one of y'all's kind of two-pronged question? What do y'all think of Ellen DeGeneres in terms of how she's been able to deploy the politics of niceness? And then what is kind of your experience with the politics of niceness in regards to racism?
I'm gonna go for it.
I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Even as a kid, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I've never trusted friendly white people. It's always just been in my blood. I mean, think about it. One of the biggest things with that shaped George and Rashid, shout out to She's debate career, was, you know what I'm saying, white people giving them the opportunity. We had a racist experience at the University of Kentucky on our debate team. Specifically, me and Rashid did. Ultimately, the entire experience kind of left a bad taste in our mouth. And you know, once the people at the tournament heard about it, they was like, well, we want to give y'all the opportunity to talk about y'all experience. I was like, are the people that was pulling the racist shit, do they win the tournament? They was like, yeah, we gonna give it to them. Oh yeah, y'all cool, y'all got it. I don't think that don't make sense to me. I don't want your niceness if ultimately, you know what I'm saying, you reward, you know what I'm saying? Like, you being nice to me ain't a reward. Like, the niggas who pulled the shit that causes you to want to have this conversation in the first place, like, they're winning. They get to leave here and say, oh, all I got to do is listen to some niggas and I get to walk out with the championship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that was always been my relationship to the politics of niceness. I've never trusted, you know, that white value system, because if white people attaching themselves to you and being friendly and nice to you, it's something about that. Whether it's, you know what I'm saying, shout out to Derek Bell and that entrance convergence theory. You know what I'm saying? It's something that they getting out of it. I don't know, some perversion, that negrophilia that we talk about. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it makes me uncomfortable. You know what I mean? But I'm not the type of nigga that's like, oh, I prefer racist white people because I know they racist. That's stupid. I prefer nice white people over racist white people. But in terms of, but there's an insidiousness about the niceness of the politics of niceness associated with white people that makes me extremely uncomfortable. And I've always been aware of it.
Faye said something poignant. Like, listen, I grew up on, you can't trust them no further than you can throw them. And that's, I mean, a real life situation. The nicer you are, I've grown to understand the more skeptical I need to try to be, or why I can't be distracted by that niceness, and I need to be able to hold you accountable. I need to be able to, in the face of that niceness, say some real shit to you and back up. That was a relationship, for example, I had to build with my debate coach. You know what I'm saying? This man, you know what I'm saying? I'm the only Black woman on my debate team. I'm the only half the time woman on my debate team. And so it's kind of like he looked out for me. He pulled me aside. You know, I talk about Sam all the time and I tell this story. When I got on the team, my first day there, he was like, I want to talk to you after practice. And I'm like, nigga, I just started on the team. I ain't do nothing. We good. It was like, I'm just like, I'm a fresh. I'm like,
immediately that them spidey senses.
But he pulled me in the other room. He said, listen, I want to tell you something. I know you sat in that room and saw what I saw. You was in a room full of white boys. If any one of them ever make you feel uncomfortable, disrespected, or out of place for who you are, how you move, you let me know. And it's handled basically on site. And that was some, you know, gestures and moves like that. Like that. I need you to go out of your way. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget your allyship or what you think you're doing or the songs. You like George, you mentioned, you know, we don't like the same songs, like the same stuff, whatever. That's cute. That means you pay the same bills I pay to watch the same shit I watch and consume the same shit I consume. But I'm not impressed by that. Go out of your way to show me that.
No ally though, man. Sam already was next level accomplished. You feel me? Like
he also,
man, like to me, I think that it's a difference.
But here's what I say too about, and so Ellen that's why I'm skeptical about her, because we need you to go out of your way, especially when you get to a certain level of acceptance, comfortability, whatever. There are two terms and phrases that I'm familiar with to kind of talk about this white people who are real nice. In the South, they call it nice nasty, and in Minnesota, they call it Minnesota nice. You know what I'm saying?
Minnesota
It's not
nice.
for you, darling, and bless your heart and stuff like that. When they really being shady, really being rude to you, but they cover it up.
I think the ivory tower intellectual word, academic word would be facetious.
Sure, very much facetious and fallacious. Right? And so you have, those types of situations where, that is very muchly a coded and covertly way that you can be rude in general. And then you can double down on that if you're trying to be racist, because you just being, charming. You just being cute, but still being dismissive and problematic. And I've seen similar behavior up in Minnesota where they, it's just the way you talk and the way you do it, where you can be dismissive and displace people and still be sweet as pie, but your intention is being understood and heard, and how you talking to people is definitely a thing. And so you can't trust none of it. I've seen it all. Noel,
right here. Yeah, I say Noel says, so what is the middle ground between nice and racist? How should honest intention be given when you don't have the chance to demonstrate it in through action? I think specifically the politics of niceness that I'm talking about is when you're faced with a situation that deals with race or racism,
and a racialized situation.
Racialized, that's how you deal with it. A racialized situation presents itself, and your first instinct is to display your politics of niceness. This is not the time to show me that you're nice. You feel me? To me, you know what I'm saying? I think that in terms of being a accomplice or being an ally, that also goes in terms of gender and in terms of sexuality. You feel me? So to me, I feel like if I'm faced with a situation of heteronormativity, this is not the time for me to show how nice I am.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I think that if I'm presented with a situation of gender violence or gender discrimination, this is not the time to show how nice I can be to women. You know what I'm saying? This is time for me to call out some bullshit. You feel me? So I think that that to me, that's the middle ground. You feel me?
And to take it to another level, in terms of, because it's specifically intentions, and this is something that I know a lot of white people worried about. So the white listeners, listen close. Intention does not outweigh the uncomfortability or the irritation or the frustration of whiteness. So even though your intentions may have been, or even if you have good intentions, if there is some criticism or if there's some frustration that is levied your way, your intentions doesn't supersede that.
Period.
So true allyship is being able to sit there in that criticism, to sit there when niggas is fuck the white man, fuck the, you know what I'm saying? And you sit back and be like,
yeah.
and it's not, and it's not being submissive. You know what I'm saying? It's not that, but it's understanding that it's not about you. It's not about your intentions.
Let me say this real quick too, especially in terms of intention, but also in terms of what Marianne is saying in the comments. Like, I don't think there's a middle ground between nice and racist. You can be nice and racist. And this is why we have to, when we say racist, we get this image in our mind that somebody's like, you N-word, you F-word, you know what I'm saying? You N-word, you lazy, or being problematic, or being whatever ism, right? Is doing it overtly. It's about the gaslighting. Hi, I've been made to feel uncomfortable about something. This made me, no, of course not. Yeah.
No. Ellen, she's nice. Ellen doesn't have she wouldn't hurt a fly.
The microaggressions, like, well, why can't you come in? Is it that you have to babysit for your sister or something like that? Like, what's the problem? Is it you have a, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just I can't think of an example off the top of my head, because there's so many different ways that white people find,
and it's so normalized.
Strategic.
It's so normalized. Yeah,
I think unintentional
microaggressions, implicit bias.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? So that racism and that niceness, you know what I mean? Like, but you can be both of them at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. You know what I'm saying? So unimpressed. We still got to keep our eyes on you and hold you accountable and hold you to task. That's what I mean when I say going out of the way. Sam went out of the way for me to let me know that it wasn't going to happen on his watch. And that let me know, if you was one of the white men in the room being problematic, bro, I'm bringing it on your street, bringing it to your door.
Because you've been empowered.
You told me you was that committed, because now I'm taking advantage of that and let you know.
And that's where you got to look at people like Sam and be like, I ain't gonna mention nobody else. We're just gonna talk about Sam specifically. Where you got to look at that and be like, he empowered a space where you can challenge whiteness and feel comfortable challenging whiteness. Yeah. Whiteness does not give you the comfortability of challenging it. Typically,
when obviously is that Ellen It's not wasn't about being challenged then. And if it's true that she talking about ending her show, she not being about challenge.
Walk away from the show if it wasn't true.
And look, I want to Noel's comment said, she said intention versus impact. In the end, impact matters, and ultimately that's what it is. It's like when you're dealing with hierarchies, when you're dealing with like social relationships, social dynamics, the impact of that dynamic and how that plays out is more important than, well, you know, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable, motherfucker. That, like, when we talk about race and, you know, or whether we talk about gender, we talk about sexuality, when we talk about these intersections and how, you know, our, like, who we are interacts with other people and they thought processes and they understandings of the world. You can be the nicest motherfucker on earth and at the same time display, advocate, and push forward some of the most fucked up shit as it pertains to people who don't fit a particular lifestyle that you agree with or a particular ideology.
Why I think that a lot of us can't recognize. I think a lot of people, especially in 2016, was very, very, very surprised by the criticisms to Bill Clinton because he had mastered how to be a lefty, liberal, nice white person. You know what I'm saying? So when you start talking about the crime bill and things like that, it's like in front of us, he's smiling, he playing saxophones, he's talking about smoking weed and, you feel me, going on BET and all these talk shows and all this here, you feel me?
He was on Arsenio getting it in.
On Sony, what getting it in, you feel me? But behind those, it's like, you know, he like, you know what I mean? He calling niggas super predators and well, his wife called it, he backed it up though. You feel me? He backed it up.
It's still called the Clinton crime bill. That's what they
exactly
know that.
So I think to cap this off, man. To cap this off, you feel me? Usually on a chop up, we keep it for the people, with the people, by the people. Usually, you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying. Shit, tonight
bringing it back.
Tonight, you know what I'm saying. We you know what? I gonna speak for my co-host tonight. I'm feeling a little bit liberal. You feel me? So to the white listeners out there,
fuck out of here.
Oh yeah,
fuck out of here.
Wait for how the question, man. I'm being that was a provocative liberal. You didn't catch my eyes with that one. You feel me?
Yeah, I know. I know.
So Damo, with your straightforward, unapologetic black ass,
yes, sir.
You well.
Yes, sir.
What would y'all say to the black listeners in conclusion, in terms of this conversation about Ellen DeGeneres and allyship, especially since we didn't reference being the accomplice? What would y'all say to the white folks listening right now?
Ladies first.
People are not impressed. And what you think are moving people ain't moving people. What you think got us, you know, captivated and enamored really ain't getting it. We ain't loyal to nobody who ain't loyal to us. And so, you know what I'm saying? Now that the lid is off the pot, now that things are really coming to light, people been talking about this stuff for years. And so now that it's sticking, it's just, you got to understand. And white people out there, we are good to white people who are good to us. You know what I'm saying? Paula Deen got caught up how she got caught up, I guarantee, because she got a little bit too comfortable with some niggas and they was like, oh, that's how we playing it? I got something for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so you got to be careful playing that ally game because we gonna hold you and hold your feet to the fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever think you're too cool to get yourself caught up because that's how Ellen. You know what I'm saying? She thought she was too cool, and now look at it. She about to pay for it with her show. And the second part of her legacy. You know what I'm saying? The first part was her being a trailblazer and a game changer, and the first to do some stuff. But the second part of her legacy.
Hey, JC said, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
My God.
That's what, like, and that's where we at, man. I think ultimately,
Ellen, you didn't live long enough to see yourself as the villain. Oh, Ellen.
I think the beauty in I think the beauty in Afro pessimism is that once you get over the depressing nature of understanding the permanence of racism and the role that it plays in everything and how everything has racism situated in it and formatting it and informing it. You feel me? Once you get past that, everything else is cool. Like, oh yeah, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Once I was able to look at like every white person with the potential to display racism every person has the potential to be anti-black. Every person is invested in anti-blackness. Once I was able, I can't say every person is invested. Every person is taught to be invested in anti-blackness. Once I was able to understand that, everything else comes easy.
Right.
That means that if you show me anything different, now I have a reason to be like, oh, okay, yeah. But when it comes to celebrity culture, y'all know, as I always say, man, that shit is TV. When the fuck, what they say, believe believe none of what you see and half of what you hear.
Facts.
Or is it the other way around?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's believe nothing you hear and half of what you see, right? Some shit like that.
You said it right the first time.
I mean, we don't need to believe shit. Don't trust it. Don't trust it.
Look, in the person my granddaddy, if I trust everybody else, I check out. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't like what I see, you out of the period.
You know what I'm saying? Like ultimately, we
Hey,
need
one of
to
my
just be.
principles, you know what I'm saying? Nothing is absolute and everything is questionable.
Everything is questionable. Ultimately, black people need to have the understanding that when we talk about what's considered normal was defined by whiteness. Love it or hate it, like it, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Normal is defined by whiteness. So anything that's normative, anything that you consider to be, you know, just a part of existence, like we need to question that. So when we see, you know, just because we see people like displaying characters on TV screen, that should be the first thing we question. That's what fucked me up about celebrity culture, because it's like we have more than enough reason to question the people that they put on our TV, because we know what we see here is not real.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And in closing, you know,
I can't say more.
Oh, definitely, you can't say more. We know you can,
but
say
I
more.
won't.
Say more, man.
But I won't.
It's time to cap this thing out. You feel me? To the white listeners in this conversation about, you know, Ellen and allyship. We calling this the culture chop. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna hedge this on two words. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's the A and the R. You feel me? Accountability and risk. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to being a ally, you know what I'm saying? We want you to be an accomplice. You feel me? Difference between an ally and accomplice. An ally is somebody that's gonna cheerlead on the sideline, like, oh my God, your Black Lives Matter. Woo, that's good. I'm a hashtag, put something out, make a cool, trendy post, whatever. You feel me? To me, an accomplice is somebody that's willing to, you know what I'm saying, put something on the risk. Like, think about it in terms of a legal aspect. When somebody says you're an accomplice to a crime, that means that you partook, you know what I'm saying, in the risk, and you know what I'm saying, what happened. You know what I'm saying?
And the benefit.
Oh, in the benefit, you feel me? But though, you know what I'm saying, you
helped
was in
accomplish
it.
the
I would say that John Brown was an accomplice. He wasn't an ally. You feel me? Like he literally had an investment, a stake on, you know what I'm saying, Black liberation. You feel me? But in terms of this R and this A, you feel me? It's A and this R. Accountability and risk. You feel me? What are you willing to be held accountable for, and what are you willing to hold other people accountable for, and what are you willing to risk in terms of this thing about progression? You know what I'm saying? As y'all can hear, my 2-year-old in the background, they're going live. And
I love it.
This whole episode, you know what I'm saying? That was the conscious chop. You feel me? This has been the chop up. You know what I'm saying? I got any important things y'all want to say?
Well, y'all know we got to do this. We definitely got to shout out. If you have an iPhone, go to your Apple Music, wherever you know what I'm saying, get whatever your shit from the Chop Up Show
or Blog Talk Radio, or
but specifically, we need y'all to go to our Apple, because we switched our name over to the Chop Up Show, and it kind of changed some things in Apple to where our RSS feed is now associated with the Chop Up Show, and not, you know what I'm saying, just the Chop Up podcast or whatever what it was initially. So we need y'all views, we need y'all rankings, we need y'all votes, we need y'all comments, we need y'all
man. We need y'all to go engage the Chop Up Show on Spotify and on iTunes, and let us know what you want. Give us some real engagement. I'm talking about like, share, comment, equivalents to what you do on a podcast.
And you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher,
YouTube.
I'm actually y'all gonna be able look in about a couple days or so. We're gonna be on iHeartRadio. You feel me? So check it out wherever you get your podcast. Check us out. We break it up into segments. So whatever part, hey, if I annoyed you with the political chop, y'all just go check out the conscious chop. And if that's all you want to listen to, you got the opportunity to just listen to that part. Make sure y'all leave y'all comments, y'all rate. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel at the Chop Up Show on YouTube. So, make sure y'all follow the the Facebook page at the Chop Up Show on Facebook, and make sure y'all following us on Instagram at the Chop Up Show on Instagram. Toya G.
That's that on that. We'll talk to y'all next Monday, Quarantine Monday, the Chop Up Show popping in on y'all. Until then, y'all be easy, stay breezy. Jump into a DM. Let us know what you want to talk about. If something going on in the week, we'll see if we can jump on top of that.
Hey, it's not always easy for these topics. So if y'all got some shit that y'all want to hear the Chop Up talk about, please let us know. We put out videos throughout the week. Comment on them videos. Let us know. Comment on that content. Let us know. Hey, we need y'all to get on this. We need y'all talking about this. We here for the people.
I just said that, but I love y'all.
I was big. I thought I was backing you up.
Boosting it. I understand.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all, man.
Yo, it's been easy.
I'm the takeoff of the group.
Stop. No, George is the Beyonce. I don't know where you try to place me. George is the Beyonce. But look, it's been real. You said what to you?
I just told the people good evening from the takeoff.
Anyway, just because she got the takeoff braids, she thinks she take. But look, it's been real. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. This is
the Chop Up.